Now, it's not uncommon in this line of business that we may reference another company or even a slogan within the company. And when we do things like that, it's always a good idea to insert a special character such as a trademark or rights or copyright symbol. Or we may just be creating a document where we're going to copyright something from CB Richard Ellis. But it's always necessary at some point to be using those. But you may not use them frequently and you may not remember what the keyboard shortcut is for those. So, what do we do when we want to insert special characters? So, what I want to do for this movie is review that. So, I'm just going to slip off to the side here and we'll work within outside of our board here. So, what I want to do is I'll just create a text frame and we'll drop this down to, let's say 14, just so you can see it. So let's say I just type in the word, change this to Futura. Just do it. Nike, I think, right? So change my swatch. Okay. So there's a slogan you're probably familiar with. And typically a slogan like that would be, if we were referencing Nike in any way, at least, we'd want to insert a special character. So there's a couple of ways that I can do that. One, I'm going to come under the Type menu, and I can go all the way down to Insert Special Character. And here I got a lot of really cool options. So I have symbols, markers, hidden hyphens and dashes and quote marks. So where I probably want to be is under symbols. So here we have special character, copyright symbol, ellipsis, paragraph, or a trademark symbol. So if I select trademark symbol, then it's just going to insert that little trademark symbol there just after just do it. Or if it was a CB reference, we might copyright it, right? Now, another way that I can access the special characters is by simply right-clicking and bringing up the contextual menu, and here we can see Insert Special Character as well. And if I bring up the symbols, then we can see that those come back. So I know that the keyboard shortcut for a copyright symbol is Alt-G, or the keyboard shortcut for the trademark symbol is Alt-2. But because I may not use those frequently, I may not remember them, so it's always a good idea to know that those are here under the contextual menu. Now, one interesting thing about fonts is that font designers can and do tend to place a lot of interesting characters in their fonts. So when we want to reference any sort of character, and some characters may not have a keyboard shortcut, it could just be a design that you want to use, then we can always come up to the Type menu and bring up the Glyphs palette. When we bring up the Glyphs palette, and I'll expand this just so we can kind of look at it, then we can see that there's all sorts of characters here within this particular font or Futura font that we're using, and not all of these characters are going to have a keyboard shortcut. So if I wanted to place them anywhere in here, all I would have to do is come in, select the one that I want to use, like let's say the Apple sign here. Hey, there's the trademark symbol. Double click the Apple sign, and it is going to place that symbol wherever my cursor was. Now, because I just inserted that, InDesign considers that a frequently used symbol, so you may have noticed as I double clicked it that it placed it up here in my frequently used symbols as well. Now here I have all the options that are available within this font. So here, if I just want to see symbols that are related to currency within this font, I can do that. Or if I want to see symbols that are related to math, I can do that as well. So that is just one easy way to bypass when you're looking at the entire font. You know, there could be several hundred symbols or glyphs within this particular font. So this allows us to narrow it down. So what if I go to another font that is pretty well known for having all kinds of symbols? And can you guess what font that is? Weblinks. So here the entire font, if I just want to see symbols or if I want to see math symbols, but this particular font doesn't break it down. Why? Because every font in here is pretty much a symbol. So in this case, I'd have to browse around, but you get the idea. So if I want to insert this little happy face under web links, I can do that as well. And if I want to delete those, of course, I just come in. But you'll notice that InDesign keeps those within my recently used. So if I want to use it again, I just double click it, no matter what font I'm on. So these are going to change depending on whatever font I select up here at the top. You can see as I maybe select Impact, that everything within my glyphs changes to Impact as well. Now I can also access that under the Windows menu. And if I come down to Type and Tables, then we'll see glyphs listed there as well. So anytime that you are dealing with special text, whether it's going to be a symbol, a math symbol, copyright, trademark, that you can always bring up the glyphs palette. One more thing I want to show you about the glyphs palette while we are talking about it is that you have these icons here, and you can also zoom in and zoom out of these. So you'll notice down here at the bottom right we have kind of these little mountain looking icons. One's bigger, one's smaller. If we, no matter how many times we click, I guess until it gets as large as it wants to within those boxes, or I can just keep zooming out until they're tiny and almost impossible to see. So that's another thing that can help you. Now, I don't necessarily have to come up here to choose a font. If I want to switch the font, I can do it from down here as well to kind of get an idea of what those characters and glyphs look like. But that's an easy way to insert special characters here within InDesign.